Hi guys.
ago.
Now, what we could always take another picture, Chef.
That was like 20 pounds ago.
Well, hello. Welcome again to Talking Food. If you're listening on Big Bang Radio, we are on Facebook Live and on YouTube Live right now, hopefully reaching the campuses. I'm not sure if we are or not, but it's still a work in progress. I haven't quite perfected it yet.
We always are a work in progress. And
Absolutely.
Even if we have it perfectly, that all the TVs on campus will broadcasting, there's something else that we can always do better.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always that's the great thing about this studio and about the administration here is they let us toy around and play with things and become groundbreakers.
We are very thankful for that they let us play with
we
stuff.
are.
Especially with technology.
Exactly. So, well, welcome to Talking Food again. It is Tuesday. It's 10 o'clock, and I'm Drew, and of course this is Chef Carlo Quaglioli.
Whoa.
I said it right.
Yes.
I said it right.
So here we are, and today is Tuesday, and Valentine's Day is a week away, and what's wrong with the title?
Well, it says Talking Food with Chef Carlo, Valentine's Day.
But it's not Valentine's Day. It's I hate Valentine's Day.
I kind of left that one out. I didn't want to turn anybody off because there's people out there who enjoyed the Valentine's Day. But for you and I, it's a Hallmark holiday.
Okay, hold on. Let me rephrase that. Okay, I don't hate Valentine's Day. Yes, I do. No, I cannot. What I don't like about Valentine's Day is it's a Hallmark holiday.
Right.
Somebody in the Hallmark headquarters about 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Probably a little bit longer than that.
A little bit longer than that.
Right.
But no, they really went hard. No, yeah, longer than that. They got together and they were like, let's make people feel bad if they don't drop. I was going to say something else. If they don't drop an insane amount of money on their other half, and we're going to make them feel bad if they don't go broke to show their sweetie that she's being loved.
Well, and it's also the simple fact that they jack up the prices of everything for Valentine's Day. It's just like they do every other holiday. But, you know, roses, if you buy a dozen roses in November, it's $20 maybe, you know. You buy it anytime 3 weeks before Valentine's Day, and it's like $100.
And it's not only that, it's the guilt trip then that they make you feel like, are you just going to buy 12 roses? No, you need to buy 24 roses with this vase and this arrangement that is now it's going to cost you $200.
We have some baby's breath in there, and you know what color roses, and roses have different meanings by color, and
God forbid we take it to a regular restaurant. Now, oh my God, you didn't take it to that 5-star restaurant?
Right.
You are a horrible person. Because God forbid we show the love to our significant other the other 364 days out of the year.
Right.
Has to be this day.
They should know.
They should know.
If you love your significant other, they should know day in, day out. You should not have to wait for Valentine's Day.
You shouldn't have to wait for Valentine's Day and pay overpriced things. And my worst is to go out to an overcrowded restaurant that has a 2-3 hour wait just to be able to sit down. Waiters are going to be running with like a chicken without a head. Cooks are going to be, and I'm sorry, I used to be cooking on the line on Valentine's Day, and I hated every single person that sat in the dining room. It's like, really, today?
Right.
Today is the day you're going to go out.
Yep.
And all of them.
Where were you guys like January 15th?
January 15th,
when we needed the funds.
Or last Tuesday.
Tuesday.
We were slow. No, actually, it has to be Valentine's Day.
Or Mother's Day, even for that matter.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody just crowds the restaurants on Mother's Day too.
If you don't love your mom every day, and you only love her once a year, and then you wonder why she looks at you weird, then
That's right.
Gotta love your mom every day.
Call your mom, now. No. After 11.
After the show, tell how much you appreciate your mom. She's always there for you.
That's right. So today we're going to talk about
what do we do on Valentine's Day?
Besides spending a lot of money on, and that's the whole thing, and that's one of the main reasons that I really enjoy cooking for a birthday or cooking for Valentine's Day or cooking for a special day, is because I can get. Now, I'm kind of good in the kitchen, and of course you are a chef, but we can do amazing meals for a fraction of the price, and it means more.
And minus the hassle.
Yes.
Because I'm sorry, going out on Valentine's Day, even though you made reservations three months ago, it's still a hassle. And you don't need to be a gourmet chef. I mean, we're going to talk today about very simple things that you can do at home. Even you can be a skillful chef, or even, I mean, if you don't know anything how to cook, and even though for the chef that works with food the whole day, when it comes to that day, it's like, wait a minute, I do 20 different kind of sauces at work, and I'm always involved. Let's make something simple.
Right.
And something simple goes a long way, especially when there is a meaning for it. And be nice. Valentine's Day, you can have the choice of just cook with your sweetie. If you have kids, you know what? Involve the kids in the process of cooking. Set up the table nicely. You don't need to have a very fancy table set up. Just something that you put a little bit of detail and attention goes a long way. Don't use paper napkins.
No, don't use the as we call it, the fine china.
The everyday fine china.
That's right. The traditional fork and spoon and knife, but the paper plate,
no paper plates.
Don't use paper towels as napkins.
No.
The fine, unless you're eating barbecue.
Still, you can go fancy plate when you eat barbecue. There's nothing wrong with that. You can do. Listen, Valentine's Day is a week away. Most of us have that decent china that has been stashed up, or those cloth napkins that you don't want to use every day because you might get them stained.
Right.
Use those. You don't have them, go buy them.
And
they're not expensive.
No, not at all. You can go to any of your places, Targets, Walmarts, things like that. They all sell it.
Target, Walmart, dress the table nicely. If you don't have no clue how to do it, there's this wonderful website called Pinterest. And you can just
he's a Pinterest junkie. He is.
It's great ideas. Hey, I got stuff to do.
I don't have time to think. I go to Pinterest and find someone else's idea.
I got time to think, but if somebody pre-thinks the things for you, then it gives you more time to think the things that are like to be thought.
Wow.
Coffee goes a long way.
Elixir loosens the tongue a little bit.
Somebody sent me a meme yesterday. You can do it. Quotes, coffee.
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 Coffee talking.
That's the coffee talking?
No,
you can do it?
You can do it.
Outside, it's different than hold my beer, right?
Yeah, that's hold my beer is when the America's Funniest videos start with.
Right.
Hold my beer, watch this. Okay, turn on your camera yourself because something fun's about to happen.
And the funny thing is especially if you have, now if you are unattached and you just have a boyfriend or girlfriend, you can probably borrow fine china or decent dishes from someone that you may know who's married, or your parents if they're anywhere local, or you could always go buy yourself some dishes. But
They're not expensive.
but if you're married, I guarantee you someone, when you got married, got you a set of nice china.
Probably stored in that attic or in the basement or the storage
Break
room.
it out, wash it, get it ready.
pretty.
Get it ready.
Oh, flowers are expensive. Well, it's not spring yet. Otherwise, I would have told you, like,
Go outside.
go outside. Go outside and cut some flowers from out there. But table settings are very simple. Just keep in mind that if you're going to have an appetizer, an entree, and dessert, you can have already all your silverware on the table, so you don't have to be running back and forth. The point is, if you're cooking for your sweetie, which is basically what the whole show is going to be centered today, you want to sit down and enjoy your meal. The only reason you have to stand up is because you're going to go to the kitchen and grab the next course. That's it. You shouldn't be going back and forth. Oh wait, I forgot the pepper. Oh, I forgot the salt. Oh, I need a spoon. It's like, it's going to really ruin the moment and make it not fun.
And for table decorations, if you don't want to spend money on flowers or little things like that, if you have kids or you have a niece or something like that, have them decorate for you.
Yes.
Yeah, little cards, little plates, have them cut out hearts and things like that. Put a little bit of the effort in, and it really shows.
Usually in my house, I don't like my kids to break. Break what? We're going to a break already?
We are? Okay.
Okay.
We're going to go to a break. Sorry. Our producer has told us we're going to a break. We'll be right back.
In a world where some things are beyond legend, they will search for answers. Be prepared. Hang on to your seats. They are going where no one has gone before. Until now.
Why are you so close to me?
I don't know. Let me back up a little bit. Yo, check out our show on
No.
Big Bang Radio. No. Okay.
Hey sports fans, we'll remind you guys to tune in every Friday at 3:30 p.m. with Sports with Lou on WNIA Big Bang Radio. Sports with Lou. We'll be breaking down all professional sport events and all your local high school sport events going around the tri-area. Don't forget, tune in every Friday at 3:30 p.m. And if we go into overtime, everybody's a winner with Sports with Lou. 3:30 p.m. WNIA Big Bang Radio. Ready, set, hey!
Weedity-wada, weedity-woo, weedity-wada-woo. Hello, my name is Stuart the Nighthawk Hawkins, and I'm a DJ here at Nash Community College's Big Bang Radio. So tune in Mondays and Thursdays from 8 to 10 for the wind down. Smooth jazz geared to help you relax from your busy day.
Hey,
We're back.
and we're back. Okay, now
We're
we got
back.
sound.
Yes, we do. We should
Am
be.
I on?
She's got the
Okay,
thumbs
good.
up. Sorry, that was my fault. One little thing, we forgot to turn his mic
Okay,
on.
good.
He was coming through my mic. I guess we could have gone over the table.
I lean over so we can make it more intimate for Valentine's Day.
Exactly. So, what were we talking about before our break?
Okay, so we were talking about our sweeties, what to do with
Mhm.
them, and so going out, to me, Valentine's Day, it's a no. Also, paying $10 for a Valentine's Day card, for me, it's a no. I make my own.
Right.
I'd rather do something hand done, handwritten. I think it has more meaning than something that you buy at the store.
Certainly.
And not only that, instead of going out and fighting the crowds, let's talk about cooking at home.
Absolutely.
Talk about the place setting.
Mhm.
Let's talk about the food. Let's say you're not a master of cooking. One of the things that you can do for Valentine's Day that always is a winner: steak and lobster.
Steak and lobster.
Steak and lobster.
Okay.
A nice ribeye steak. You can find it in the store. Talk to your butcher, Harris Teeter, Food Lion. They have decent product. Griller, a nice griller ribeye. Lobster nowadays, it comes already. You can buy the tails already,
Right.
and it might seem a little bit pricey, but once you tally up everything to make your meal, you're gonna spend much less than going to the restaurant. And don't get me wrong, I love going to restaurants. Not on Valentine's Day.
No. Or Mother's Day.
Not on Valentine's Day. Steak and lobster. You at this point you should know what your sweetie, your wife, your girlfriend, or the girl you're about to date. You must know already what kind of steak she likes and cook whatever she. You at this point you might know she likes seafood, and with lobster you can never go wrong.
Right. But if you don't know them, make sure you ask.
Ask.
Ask if she's has a problem with seafood. Don't make the
You
lobster.
do not want to send her to the ER on Valentine's Day.
No, that would be
for
bad.
Seafood allergy.
That would be bad.
No, not fun.
No.
Not fun.
How was your Valentine's Day? I spent it in the ER with my girlfriend.
We were bonding.
We were bonding.
We were bonding. She wanted to kill me, but couldn't talk.
She went into anaphylactic shock, and but it was a great experience for us.
Hey,
all.
it was bonding experience.
Sorry, go ahead.
Steak and lobster. Very simple. Lobsters, if you buy them already pre-cooked, it's the best way. It saves time. or you just need to heat it up. Steak, you can grill it. Oh, I don't have a grill. No problem. A good cast iron pan. Start it on the stove top. Get a good sear. Good sears when you heat up that pan to almost like it's when you put the oil, you can see the smoke coming out of the oil. When I mean smoke, I don't mean about white smoke that is going to set up the fire alarm. Talking about that smoking point of the
Done that. Done that.
Fire department came over. No.
He put it up and just cover it up.
Okay, good. Get that. Season the steak, very simple, salt and pepper. You don't need to go fancy with steak or with the lobster. What I suggest, let's finish with the steak. Get a good sear on one side, sear on the other side, stick it in an oven at 400 degrees, and 10 minutes later, get the steak out, let it rest so those juices can stay inside of the steak. Once you take the protein and you heat it up, the protein coils will kind of like twirl up and squeeze all the water. So if you cut your steak at that point, it's going to release all the juices and dry up your steak. Let it rest 5 minutes and pre-slice your steak. I like to pre-slice your steak because it doesn't make you look like an orangutan there.
Right, and it doesn't take up the entire plate, so there's no room for anything else.
There's not room for anything else. So I like to pre-slice my steak. It makes it easy for eating, a little bit more elegant. And all of this, the beautiful thing about having steak and lobster in one same plate, you can make a very simple sauce. Of course, if you are skillful enough to make a hollandaise sauce, go for it. There's a great recipe on the Food Network website for blender hollandaise, so you don't have to cook it on the double boiler. Also, a great recipe would be a beurre blanc. If you don't have the skills for any of those two, here's a very simple one. Butter, melt it to the point that it's not going to separate. Add a jar of capers, liquid and everything, because the liquid where the capers are sitting is really salty. That'll give you the salt. Cracked pepper, good to go.
Done.
Heat it up. Capers go well with the seafood, and they go well with the steak.
Or compound butter would work well.
Compound butter.
Compound butter on a steak, on any protein, to be honest with you. A good maitre d' hotel butter.
Even on muffins.
I know. Oh, yeah. That's true. Which that is also very, very simple to do. You just make it a day ahead of time, throw it back in the refrigerator.
Compound butter, just soften the butter. Add any flavoring you want. My favorite is parsley and lemon juice, salt and pepper. Stir it to combine, then shape it into a log, and whenever your grill, your protein comes out of the grill, cut a couple of sliced thin medallions on top of it, and it's just gonna melt and just bathe your protein in this delicious mixture of butter.
It's amazing.
Is lobster out of your budget, and you still want to do some surf and turf? Shrimp.
And shrimp is really cheap. Usually you can get it fresh, and it's not even fresh locally. It's unless you go out towards Elizabeth City or you're not going to get the fresh stuff. Usually you're going to buy what they say is fresh, but basically they've just taken the bag and they've defrosted it and they've put it on display. So you can easily walk over to the aisle that's got the freezer section near the butcher's counter and get yourself a package of medium-sized, large-sized shrimp. And shrimp is very, very simple. Peel it, wash it. You can throw it into a pan for a very short amount of time. Once it's translucent, then make sure, or a little bit opaque, then make sure you pull it out because it will continue to cook.
Don't overcook your shrimp.
Because it becomes like you're eating a rubber sole. Yeah.
Awesome.
I had to do the
crunch.
Yeah. Well, it's you just kind of that. Hey, it's pretty good shrimp. Tastes like it tastes like I'm chewing on a dog biscuit.
Also, if you don't want to peel and devein your shrimp, some packages already conveniently have your shrimp peel and devein for you.
They do.
But means peel and devein, shrimp has a natural shell on the outside that if you remove it, once you eat it, it's going to be crunchy.
It's a lot crunchy, especially if you cook it.
If you cook it. So it's Valentine's Day. Peel the shrimp. Deveining the shrimp means in the upper part, you're going to run your knife along the shrimp, and you're going to remove the digestive tract from the shrimp. You don't have to do it, but since you're doing something nice, once you remove the digestive tract, it comes out almost like a very thin circular membrane which contains the
digestive juices. That'd be the nice way to say it. How about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say something else, but it wasn't gonna
I know.
sound like
It's everything the
No.
shrimp ate before it was caught. How about that?
exactly. So
Yeah.
it looks like a brown string. Just pull it out, and it looks more elegant.
Yes. Yes.
So again, like Drew said, very simple heat. You can use butter. Don't overcook your shrimp, and it goes excellent with any butter sauce along with your steak. You can serve the steak alongside your veggie, your shrimp. You can mount the shrimp on top of the steak very carefully. Add on top of it. It looks good. And what starch do we have with this one?
Well, I know you're a fan of shrimp scampi, so we could
Yeah.
always add wonderful noodles.
Yes.
If you wanted to go crazy, you could always make a quasi jambalaya to go along with it. I don't know if it go along with steak that well, but jambalaya usually goes with pretty much anything.
Anything. Yeah, you can do rice. Very simple. Or
Grits.
Okay, grits.
Grits. If you got to think of cheese grits, make your own shrimp and grits.
Oh,
Easy enough to do.
Your surf and turf with cheese grits.
Can't go wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that. Don't want to go that fancy. Roasted potato, cut it in big wedges. Sprinkle it with oil, salt and pepper. Put it in the oven until golden brown. Shake it once in a while so it doesn't stick to the pan, and serve it with like big wedge potatoes. Don't want to go fancy about cutting your potatoes? Do a baked potato.
Absolutely.
Just cook your whole potato until fork tender. Cut it, push it so the center can fluff it, and serve it alongside your butter sauce or your hollandaise sauce.
Add your toppings and have a good time.
Have some toppings, have a fantastic time. Very simple. Don't have to slave yourself in the kitchen. Of course, before that, a nice crunchy salad. I love romaine lettuce. It's one of my favorite lettuces. There's nowadays, now if you want to go fancy, supermarket, they sell the microgreens, a little bit of arugula, it's nice and peppery. Add some cherry tomatoes in there. I was going to say red onions, but I believe there's going to be some kissing afterwards.
Well, if you've been married as long as I have, it doesn't really matter.
It's like pile up the onions, baby.
Exactly. I even asked. I was like, "You want onions?" She goes, "Heck yes, I want onions."
Pile them up, baby.
I like that onion flavor to add.
Pile them up.
Yeah.
And before that, a nice little salad. And don't you want salad? No problem. What I suggest is nowadays they sell a bunch of really good cold cuts, accompanied with some nice crusty bread, and of course wine. Wine throughout the whole meal. What kind of wine? My favorite wine is the one you like.
Right. There you go. That makes sense.
We can get into a full show about wine pairing and what to do with that. But if you're doing steak and surf and turf, at this time of the year, a good rosé wine will go great. To start the meal, you can also go for a sparkly rosé wine. Nothing wrong with that.
Nope.
Don't you want to go rosé? Start your meal with a nice prosecco or a nice cava bubbly with a couple of cold cuts, bread. Start the moment, and then move into your main entree.
And I enjoy if you've got a good Cabernet to go along. If you're cooking a steak, good dry red will be really well, especially if your steak is nice and juicy.
But wait, Drew, we're gonna serve fish. It's okay if you accompany the fish with a lot of a butter sauce. Your Cabernet has enough tannins to clean the palate of all the butter that you have in there. Don't worry, the fish is gonna be okay with that Cabernet, especially if you make it swim in the butter, which is there's nothing wrong on Valentine's Day.
No.
Wrong, every day, that's not good. But Valentine's Day, please make it swim in butter.
Make it swim in butter.
Make it
Butter.
swim in butter.
Butter's amazing.
Butter makes everything good. That's idea number one. Idea number two, pork tenderloin.
Pork tenderloin.
And I think I have a picture of that.
Oh, we do have a picture there. There's the pork tenderloin.
Oh, and that's the one that we do here at school in my 240. It's very simple. We do a mustard rub on the outside.
Nice.
Stone ground mustard. Just rub it on the outside, roast it, and just serve it with a bilogi sauce.
Right.
Which is basically soy sauce. I use a cup of soy sauce, 3 cups of orange juice, ginger, garlic, scallions. Let it concentrate and reduce until it becomes nice and thick by itself. Strain it because you don't want to have pieces of scallions or anything like that in there. And that's going to be the sauce for your tenderloin. Tenderloin, pork tenderloin is very easy to cook. You don't need to do much of it when it comes out of the package. Just remove any extra fat that is hanging around. If you're skillful enough to remove the silver skin or like the tendon that has the tenderloin, go ahead and do that. It's not going to make a lot of a difference. I usually remove it. But just take your pork tenderloin, rub it with the mustard. Don't add any salt because the mustard is salty already, and just give it a good sear on a pan. But Chef Carlo, I don't want to sear it. No problem. Just stick it in the oven at 500 degrees. The pork tenderloin is nice and lean. It's gonna really sear in the oven on the outside. 15 minutes later, pull it out. Let it rest about 5 minutes. Slice. I like to put the sauce on the bottom because the pork tenderloin is gonna be nice and pink. Yes, and I said pink. You're not gonna die if you eat pink pork.
No, you're not.
It's fine. Oh, but the E. coli. It's like I haven't heard anybody dying of E. coli eating pork in a long while.
Yeah, several decades.
Several decades. So it's okay. What happens? The pork tenderloin is extremely lean. If you overcook it, it's gonna become dry and tough. You don't want it to become dry and tough. Just leave it on the pink side. And if you want to make sure, if you're not sure if you're taking it to the pink side, buy a little meat thermometer at the supermarket or the restaurant store. It's about $140. No,
What kind of thermometer are you buying, man? Was that made of gold?
It cooks and everything.
Wow, I thought we worked at a community college. What, they're giving you a killer budget.
It makes you drinks.
It makes you drinks.
It makes you drinks.
But he's absolutely right. And you can get, I think I got my probe thermometer, I think it was like $10, $11. And you can set it for the protein that you're cooking, but the easiest thing to do is you stick it in there. If you're gonna stick it in the oven, if it comes with a thing, it's okay. Stick it in the meat, close the oven, let it do its thing. Like you said, 15 minutes, pull it out, or you can wait till it reaches 165. 165 and...
Hold on.
Uh-huh.
That's too much.
It's too much?
Yeah, 145.
145?
Yeah,
wow.
Almost rare because what's going to happen is there's so much heat in there,
right.
It's going to keep cooking.
It's going to keep on going.
It's going to keep on going.
Aha.
If you take it to 165, the pork loin, it's so tiny and so lean, it's going to completely overcook on you.
Gotcha.
Now,
So
if
145.
If you're doing a pork loin,
right.
the big mama, that one you want to take to 160.
Right, and so the tenderloin is a cut off of the
Tenderloin
loin.
is about this thick.
Right.
And it's going to cook very quickly.
And pork loin, it's a lot of food.
Oh yeah.
That's a lot of, yeah. So, you know, I suggest, I made one a couple weekends
you can cook the
ago.
pork loin and then it's going to still be lunch for the next day.
It'll be in the next day.
See, that's
And the
the
next
one
day.
and the next day, and the next
I
day.
have taken the entire pork loin and I'll cut it in half and then freeze the other half for another time because there's only 3 of us in there, you know, most of the time. And it actually serves us for one meal and then the next day for sandwiches and that. I do suggest though, when you're buying your pork tenderloin or your pork loin, make sure you look at the package. There are several packages out there that comes with a salt solution inside. Usually it's up to an 8% salt solution. If you get one of those, be very, very careful on your salt if you're going to season your pork loin before you cook it because you can oversalt it just like that.
What they do is they pre-package it in a what they call a flavorful broth or solution, which is salty. It's brining your pork. So be careful with that one. Like Drew says, it's full of salt and water. So if it comes in your salt solution, easy on the salt.
Easy.
You can always flavor your pork loin and your pork tenderloin afterwards.
Right. You can't take away salt.
No.
You can add salt, but you cannot take it away.
Salt. Once something is salty, I'm sorry. The only way you can take away the salt is getting somebody else sick with the flu so they cannot smell or taste.
That's true. That's true. And I think you had another picture of, was it pork with...
Oh, that was going to be the next one.
Oh, the mixed veggies.
Oh, wait, but hold on.
Oh, we're not done.
Pork tenderloin, very easy to accompany with. I make some rice and I take leeks. It's from the onion family. Cut them in half, cut them julienne, put a little bit of butter in a pan, and just slowly cook them for an hour. Stir once in a while, add chicken stock, and it's braised leeks. So it's from the same onion family. It still has some natural sugar in it, and as you cook it, it braises it and caramelizes the leeks. They become tender, delicious, and it's a great light thing to go with the pork tenderloin.
Are you putting that on top of the tenderloin or just to the side?
No, right on the side. Look, here's the picture, and see your.
Oh, I see over there.
See,
Yeah,
just very simple presentation. We don't have to get Thomas Keller fancy. Just slice your pork, layer on top of the sauce, your leeks and your rice, and you're good to go.
And that was risotto with that way, right?
That is just. I believe actually that picture was Spätzle.
Oh, was it Spätzle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spätzle.
Love some Spätzle.
Very Spätzle. Spätzle is simple. Spätzle is flour, water, a little bit of egg, and you can find that recipe at the Food Network. They have also a very easy recipe. And you just take boiling water and you drizzle the dough. You can put it in a bag, cut the tip, and just let it drizzle. As it hits the water, it cooks and it creates these little clumps of dough. And then you saute that in
It's like the
water.
pasta version of making dumplings. I use a small strainer, a little bowl style strainer.
That's fine too.
And you just kind of push it through there and it drips out along the holes of the strainer and drips right into the water.
Yeah, but then you have to clean the strainer.
Well, yeah, but I mean, if we're cooking for Valentine's Day, I'm going to be having to do a lot of cleaning too. So because it's not like I'm going to cook and say, all right, it's your turn.
You just listen to Drew. If you cook for Valentine's Day,
You clean.
do the cleaning.
Yes.
Don't have your sweetie do the cleaning. Don't do like, well, I cook, so now you clean. Don't do that.
That's a sure way to end your Valentine's Day in a heartbeat. You know, the best thing to do is clear the table, have your children clear the table if you're there, get her another glass of her choice of wine, and you know,
and just
and
keep
invite her to accompany you as you clean the kitchen and have a nice conversation.
And actually, what I've done in past years, we do this whole Valentine thing along with friends. So you can get together 2-3 couples, or even 5 couples get together, have the girls sit down and give her some wine and some appetizers, and the guys go in the kitchen and they make the whole meal for the ladies. And there is strength in numbers.
Strength in numbers. Yeah.
Strength in numbers.
Gets it done a lot faster.
Yeah, I wonder why everybody asked me to come and do this for them.
I have no idea.
No clue.
No.
It's like,
What are you
hey,
doing next week?
Me? I'm cooking for my sweetie.
I'm a kitchen Nazi. I would ask you to sit down and drink wine too.
And you will not have to ask me twice. I'll be like, sure, man. I mean, temperature of the wine is so. The rest of the cooking, I am not criticizing anything. You can also get together with some friends. Get a group of friends that also, they're not very keen of going out on Valentine's Day, and do this thing at home. Somebody's house. You can even send all the kids to the basement or watch TV, or if you have any kids.
Give them an Xbox and some controllers and say, disappear.
There you go, disappear. Well, here's some hot dogs.
Yeah.
Get to the other room.
This is not your holiday. This is I gave you candy this morning. Shoo.
Bowl of candy, a little Xbox, and they'll disappear and they'll leave you alone for a while, trust me.
So tell me about the other pork tenderloin that you were talking
Okay.
about.
Very simple. If you're not great with in the kitchen cooking skills, roasting is one of my favorite ways to introduce people into cooking that have not very many skills. Very simple. Take your pork tenderloin, little salt, little pepper. Make sure that it's not being in that solution of salt. Salt and pepper. I love to put powdered garlic on the outside of the pork tenderloin. Powdered garlic has, I can see some people cringing. No, we use fresh garlic. I know, but powdered garlic really stick to the outside of the tenderloin, and since powdered garlic is dry, it will help you suck up the moisture from the outside of the pork loin. And stick it in the oven. What I do is take a casserole dish, something that you're gonna serve the same dish with. Cut some potatoes big. Don't cut them too small, because you need to calculate that the pork tenderloin is gonna cook for about 45 minutes.
Right.
If you cut your potatoes too small, they're gonna cook in 10 minutes. So I would do about 1-inch dice, or cut them like steak.
The steak fries?
Exactly, and then put them in the bottom of the bowl of your casserole. Put the pork loin right on top, and stick the whole thing right in the oven.
Yep.
So as the potatoes are cooking and the pork loin is cooking, the pork loin is going to render juices. Where do you think those juices are going to? To that bottom of the pan, and it's going to create that beautiful seasoning. So basically, the potatoes are going to cook in the own fat that is coming out of the pork loin. Gotta have some little extra fat.
Right.
And the potatoes are going to be basically cooked in the juices that come out of the pork loin.
Yum.
Nothing wrong with that.
No.
I like to add carrots too to give a different texture and color. And the picture is something that I did a while ago. And it's basically you have your carrots in the bottom, you have your potatoes, and your pork tenderloin right on top. Pre-slice it, and yes, I use a cast iron pan because I think cast iron looks sexy.
Yeah, it does.
It has a good old feeling.
I don't think I've ever called the pan sexy before, but yes, I can agree with you.
Well, because you need to be in the chef world.
No.
Cast iron. Ooh, please bring me more cast iron pans. But I love, and the cast iron pan not only retains all the heat, but it looks good when you put it on the table.
Right.
Make sure when you put it on the table, you put something underneath so it doesn't burn.
So it doesn't. You've ruined my antique table.
I've done it. I've done it. What do you mean? It's a moment of not being there with all of this.
Right.
But have you done that 1,000 times? Well, today's the day.
Today's
the hot pan.
That's right. Just wasn't thinking.
Wasn't thinking. It happens once in a while.
Want to take a quick break, and we'll come back with what's next.
Oh, we're gonna come with chicken thighs, Parmesan style.
Chicken thighs, Parmesan style.
Yeah, baby.
On Talking Food, and we'll be right back.
DJ Twiz on the beat, fool.
What's up? It's DJ Twiz. Be sure to tune in with me every Tuesday at 2 p.m. on WNIA 89.1 FM to catch all your urban music, news, fashion news, and sports. Every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Make sure you tune in because it will be lit.
Hey, this is Mike D, inviting you to join me for Ultimate Alternative. Fridays at 2 on Big Bang Radio, or anytime on the Ultimate Alternative podcast.
Come with me now.
All right, we're back, and you didn't get to try here. So, is this mic working now?
Am I working? Yay! Yeah! Cheers!
Cheers! Woo. We got it working.
And we learn. And we learn. Okay, so we keep moving in the wonderful world of very simple meals for your Valentine's Day. Again, your pork tenderloin. I would think pork tenderloin goes excellent with a nice creamy Chardonnay. Again, there's nothing wrong with pork and having a little pork before the pork.
Okay.
Prosciutto, salami.
Ah, that's good. That was good. I was like, pork before the pork. You saying I should cook some bacon?
Well, if you wrap your tenderloin or your tenderloin in bacon, there's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Not only that, you're protecting. You see, it's about protecting the tenderloin.
Is that what it's about?
Yeah, it's all about protecting. There's nothing wrong if before you take your pork tenderloin, you wrap it in bacon.
Has nothing to do with the fact that you just put bacon on pork.
Well, see, the only thing that I don't like that, it's because bacon, it's cured and smoked.
Right.
So some people don't like the smoke. But there's nothing wrong about taking fresh pork belly, that everybody carries it now, and just slice it and use the fresh pork belly to wrap your pork tenderloin.
Sounds good. Smells good. Yeah, I can smell it right now.
It smells good.
I can smell it.
And there's nothing wrong if you get your pork loin and you wrap it in bacon and then you do exactly what we did before to it.
True.
Nothing wrong with that.
Right.
Just make sure that it's going to be okay. Well, I don't think I never heard anybody go on like, I hate bacon. No.
Vegans.
Who are those?
I don't know.
Vegans?
Yeah.
No, I don't talk to vegans. Sorry.
Oh.
No, I'm kidding. Kidding. Vegans.
If you're new to this show, we do occasionally.
No,
we
vegans.
don't chastise you. We love you, vegans.
We love vegans. You're in my heart.
We just prefer.
You put a challenge
pork.
on my brain to cook vegan with lots of flavor and no pork. We love vegans. Yes.
We do.
We do.
So what else we got today?
Okay, wait,
Or
hold
for
on.
next week.
You gotta have pork before the pork.
Oh, prosciutto.
Yeah, why not? Before. Okay, fine.
I can hear already like, why don't we go lighter? Okay, you know what? Before this, there's something very simple that you can do, and it's a really simple appetizer of grilled veggies.
Okay.
Eggplant, zucchini, yellow peppers, red peppers, green peppers. Oil, salt, and pepper, put them on a really hot grill, get a nice char on it, serve them on a platter. The peppers, after you grill them, you can cut them into slices, or at least don't go any thin for the peppers, nothing thicker than a half an inch.
Okay.
Get your zucchini, get your eggplants, any sturdy veggie that can be grilled. I love fennel. Grilled fennel is one of my favorites. Grill all your veggies, put them on a nice platter, drizzle with olive oil, and serve with a nice crusty bread. Somebody's gluten-free. Hey, they sell this beautiful crackers made out of almond flour. There is now an incredible array of gluten-free crackers. You don't have gluten-free crackers, chips.
Yep.
Give it a crunch. They're gluten-free. They're good. They're fried. They're delicious. Nothing wrong if you follow pork with pork. In my planet, that's completely fine.
We're on the same planet, by the way.
We're on the same planet. But first course, you can do a nice platter of grilled veggies. It's always refreshing. And grilled veggies go excellent with a nice crisp Sauvignon Blanc, nicely chilled. But we're in winter, I know, but a nice white wine with the veggies goes great. I know wintertime, I prefer to drink red wines that are robust and have a nice body. But there's nothing wrong serving your veggies with a nice crispy like Sauvignon Blanc.
Right.
And we move on.
What's next?
The workhorse of everything.
Spaghetti.
Spaghetti, pasta, orecchiette, fusilli, all the shapes and kind of pasta do an excellent Valentine's meal. My favorite pasta, when I don't make it, I'll tell you in a moment, is Trader Joe's, not Trader Joe's, Harris Teeter. We have one in town. Harris Teeter has their own brand of pasta. It's really good, high quality pasta. You don't have to be paying for a high Di Cecco or any other brand that, oh, the pasta must be good. It's $7 a pound.
Yeah.
They're good, but you know what? The Harris Teeter brand is really good, high quality pasta.
Yeah, and if you're cooking for Valentine's Day, I suggest you take your budget and spend it on the proteins.
Yes.
And that's pasta.
And that pasta. And now the good thing about pasta, it's like a white canvas. You can do anything to it, and as long as you do it tastefully, it's gonna always look good. So you can take nice chicken breast, grill it, or pan cook it, or cook it in the oven, then slice it, make a nice pasta. And the trick with the pasta is don't overcook it. Cook it al dente. Actually, if you read in the package, most packages of pasta says exactly how long to cook it for. 7 to 8 minutes. Always go with the mid number. If it says 8 to 12, cook it for 10. Taste it. If it still has a bite, perfect. Drain it, keep it hot. And what I like to do with pasta, which most people don't do, is if you see people serve pasta and they put a dollop of sauce right on top of it. What I like to do with the pasta is after it's cooked, let's say you're using a tomato sauce. Tomato sauce, as the pasta cooks, put it in a saute pan, take a little bit of the pasta, a drop of water, and toss the pasta into the sauce.
Okay.
You're basically dressing the pasta. The pasta is still absorbing and cooking. It's going to start absorbing a little bit of the flavor of whatever sauce you're going to put on top of it. Then you can still arrange your tomato sauce and your sliced grilled chicken right on top of it, or your baked chicken on top of it, and it's going to look fantastic. Good with pasta is always herbs. Chop fresh herbs on top of it. Parsley.
Can't go wrong.
Can't go wrong with parsley.
Nothing wrong with parsley.
Now, what you can go wrong with parsley is most people, they just take the parsley, they wash it, and they start chopping it. Try to remove the big stems from the center. I'm not telling you that you have to prick every single leaf of the parsley with a tweezer. At least remove.
That made me laugh. I'm trying to think of somebody just, but Chef Carlo told me to.
Not with a tweezer.
Forever.
Not with a tweezer. Just grab it in little groups and just remove the big stem. Just try to leave the big stem out, and then wash it, dry it, pat dry with a towel. Because I've seen a lot of people chopping herbs while they're still wet. it becomes a mess. As they're chopping, they're gonna clump up, and you're not gonna be able to sprinkle it on top of your food.
Right.
Either pat it dry, or you wanna chop them wet, go ahead. Then pat them dry with a towel, and you're gonna be able to sprinkle them on top of your food. And parsley looks what you wanna go fancy. You can use tarragon with chicken. Be careful with the tarragon, it's really, really, really powerful. So, pasta. Any pasta would do. Now, what thing I would suggest, if you're using small cube protein, example, let's say you want to make steak pasta. I've seen people doing it, and there's nothing wrong with it. You cook to perfection a ribeye, dice it. So if you're going to dice it into small pieces, use pasta that is kind of long.
Gotcha.
So it can basically pop out. If you want to use like linguine, your protein is small, like linguine and clams, and I'll tell you a very easy way to do linguine and clams. Very simple. Just make sure that your pasta is not as small as your protein. Don't use, if you're doing clam sauce and the clams are very small, don't use the Tallini pasta, which is really, really small. Let's use something long that can actually look different than the size of your protein. So pasta, it's a canvas. Anything goes to it. One of my favorite dishes to do with pasta is shrimp scampi, which is basically shrimp.
I think we've got that too.
Yes, we should have a picture of it.
Aha.
Look at
Let's
that.
just leave that picture up for a little while.
It looks better than us,
And,
trust me.
Wow. That looks so
We still
yummy.
we still need the sound effects like,
We really do, especially for that picture.
Yeah. Actually, put the picture back on. It looks better than us. There you go. Look at that.
Shrimp scampi.
That's linguine, shrimp that have been deveined and peeled.
And detailed.
And detailed. Yes, thank you. Not detailed like what's on, what's off. We have taken.
Make sure you detail your shrimp. Give them a good waxing.
Don't go Karate Kid on it. It's like very simple. Just take the tail off. And this dish is very simple. Cook your pasta, and this one can be served family style if you have a lot of people. Cook your linguine al dente. Once it comes out, toss it with some olive oil. Put it right on the serving dish. Different pan. As you're draining your shrimp, saute your shrimp, not too much. Once they become opaque, shrimp is kind of like translucent. Once it starts changing color, it's ready.
Yeah.
This dish shouldn't take more than 5 minutes to make, especially when you're cooking the shrimp.
Right.
High heat. Now, one trick is make sure when you cook your shrimp, you don't put too many shrimp in a pan. Shrimp is going to release, as any protein, it's going to release water. If you're trying to saute your shrimp and get a nice crisp on it, if you put too many of them in a pan, all the water is going to release immediately, and they're going to steam instead of saute. If you need to make a couple of batches, but make sure that there is space between the shrimp so the water, as it releases, it will evaporate quickly. Put too many shrimps, and this applies for any protein that you want to saute. If you add too much protein at once, it will steam instead of saute, and it will become tough.
Right.
Do you need to do a couple of different batches? That's fine. But this is very simple. Butter, lemon, I love to add capers, saute, put it on top of the pasta, you're done.
Done and done.
Done and done. Oh, I don't want to do shrimp, I want to do cod. Should.
Okay, go for it.
Do it the same way. Cod is actually something really good that holds on saute. If you're gonna do scampi, you're gonna saute, try to use fish that is firm. You could use salmon, but the salmon, as you're cooking it, it will cook and start flaking off. And it's gonna be, if that is what you want to achieve, that's fine, but I like to see my fish when I saute it. I love to use cod, cut them into big dice, same process. Butter, saute, add your capers. A little bit of the water on the capers helps you with the saltiness. Capers, more butter, nothing wrong with that. Parsley, toss. Oh, and I forgot, lemon.
Lemon.
Yeah, a little bit of lemon juice. That
Little
gives
bit
it
of acid
a
on
little bit of acidity, cuts through the butter, and just toss it on top of your favorite pasta.
And it's nice and light and yummy.
And well, light. If I make it, it's not going to be quite light. But yes, you can make it light by adding much less butter to it. But
no, but it's not like a thick it's not like a starch. It's your pasta is a starch, but it's not as heavy as like a potato or
yes.
So it's a lighter meal, and of course the freshness with the lemon, really creates that. Just a wonderful side dish if you wanted to.
And if you want to go crazy on your scampi, add a little bit of anchovies. Yeah, but most people go like, anchovies, ew. Anchovies.
It's the fish that gets a bad rap.
I don't know why anchovies get the bad rap. I love anchovies.
Because they come in cans, I guess.
But they're delicious. That's fine. They can also come in glass jars.
I don't think I've ever seen anchovies in glass jars.
Harry's Theater.
I'm not shopping at the places you're going.
Oh, well, Harry's Theater right down the road.
Really? They have it in a glass jar?
Yeah.
Fish in a jar?
Fish in a jar.
Fish in a jar.
Yes. And it comes in glass jars, and you have all the anchovy fillets in there, and they're really good. But anchovies, to me, I even put anchovies in lamb. And I sneak anchovies in lamb. Nobody knows that. When I do a lamb leg,
right,
I put a couple anchovy fillets in there, and it gives that umami flavor, that cured flavor, and nobody knows I stick some anchovies in there.
Wow.
It's like, hey, I stick some anchovies in there. Don't tell anybody.
Don't tell anybody.
One of my favorite canapés to make. Canapé is a nice. It's a bread with a sauce and a protein on top of it. Is bread, butter, and anchovies. That's it.
That's it.
I love it. I can eat that every day. And anchovies get a bad rap, and they're salty, they're delicious, and they have that concentrated flavor. So, how to sneak them into your shrimp scampi? Cut them nicely. You can even, if you don't want to have the anchovy itself, they sell nowadays, and I've seen it in a lot of supermarkets, they sell the anchovy puree. It looks like a toothpaste. It comes in the same tube as toothpaste. Don't use it as a toothpaste because it's not socially acceptable yet. But it comes in the same.
On Valentine's Day, what did you brush your teeth with the anchovies?
Anchovies. And you have the brown spots in there.
It's terrible.
Delicious. And they have anchovy paste that comes into the tubes. Okay, that looks like toothpaste tubes. And you can actually, as you're sauteing, you can add a little bit of the anchovy paste, and it help you also create. I mean, it's fish with fish.
Right.
Can't go wrong.
No.
But it's going to give it the brininess. It's going to give it that umami flavor in there, which is incredibly delicious. Now, one thing that I try also with the shrimp scampi, if you don't want to add parsley, seaweed.
Okay.
You're listening.
Yeah, absolutely.
The same seaweed that we use to make sushi, put it in the oven for 5 minutes so it can get nice and toasty. Get it out and then chop it with your knife.
And sprinkle it on top.
And just sprinkle it right on top of it. It's gonna give it that, again, it comes from the ocean, it's an algae. And people might think it's parsley. But it gives them that ocean fresh flavor, because to me, the seaweed smells like ocean.
I agree.
Delicious.
It is yummy.
You can sprinkle your shrimp scampi with the seaweed leaves, and it gives them that ocean fresh flavor to it.
We've got about 6 minutes left.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay. Pasta. It's a canvas. Tomato sauce for the pasta. One of my favorite sauces, tomato sauce. Don't have time to make one. Harry's Theater sells the organic marinara sauce for $2.75. It's fantastic. You want to make your own? Can of crushed tomatoes, hot pan, olive oil, 1 clove of garlic, add your crushed tomatoes, let it cook for 5 minutes, fresh basil. Done. Don't have to go crazy.
Nope.
That's a nice fresh sauce for your pasta. Besides that, you can always use a bechamel. If you want to go really crazy, you can use a beurre blanc. You don't have to use any sauce at all. Like the shrimp scampi, there is no sauce in there. The sauce is the flavorings from the shrimp, that go into the pasta. Don't you want to have shrimp? You can do grilled chicken, steak on top of your pasta. It's completely fine. Last dish I want to talk about is chicken parmigiana.
Chicken parmesan.
Chicken parmigiana.
We got a picture.
Look at that. That is served on top of spaghetti squash.
It is. See, producer Amanda, she's in there raising her fist because yesterday we were looking at the photographs and I was like, oh, those are very small noodles. She goes, that's spaghetti squash.
Here, put it back on.
She's like, that's spaghetti squash. And I was like, no, that can't be spaghetti squash.
This is very simple. So your chicken thigh is very simple. I like to saute it first. You can fry it, but saute it, then add tomato sauce and mozzarella cheese. Of course, season, salt and pepper. Put it in the oven to melt. You can slice it before you add the tomato and the cheese right on top of it. And that is spaghetti squash. I love spaghetti squash. Just take your spaghetti squash, cut it in half, put it in the oven for 30 minutes at 400 degrees, and then you're gonna turn it around, scrape it with a fork, and you get that beautiful thing. This is a low-carb dish, and the grape tomatoes, it's the most simple thing. Again, get a nice saute pan hot, oil, and just scorch them. Salt and pepper, scorch them until they become like, you see the tomatoes, they're nice and scorched. And thank you. The picture is nice too.
Yes.
I don't know how to get that good picture. I didn't even plan it to come that way, but it's like, oh, that came out nice. Once you bake your spaghetti squash, toss it with, I like olive oil, but you can just use safflower oil, salt and pepper, a little garlic. I don't like to use a lot of garlic. I don't know why Italian cuisine is, it's like, okay, Italian cuisine, there needs to be a ton of garlic. No, actually, no, it's not that way. And serve your spaghetti squash. So you take your, and I love chicken thighs because it's dark meat.
Yes, and it's juicier, it's tender.
It's juicier, it's more tender, has more flavor. And chicken breasts are fine, but chicken breast is almost 99.99% lean.
Right.
So when you cook it, it tends to be dry. Chicken thighs, they don't tend to be dry. So I saute mine, but hey, listen, if you want to pan fry yours, it's gonna be even better. Just flour, egg wash, breadcrumbs, pan fry your chicken thigh, and then spoon some tomato sauce on top of it, good mozzarella, put it in a casserole dish or a Pyrex in the oven once it's all nice and melty. And this is a good dish that holds. Once it's ready, all the cheese is melted, you can turn your oven low and get everything else ready. Spaghetti squash, very simple. Once it's ready, use your fork, get the spaghetti squash out. You can even reheat the spaghetti squash in a saute pan, so give it a crunch.
Cool.
Really, really, really hot pan. Throw your spaghetti squash in there. It will create some caramelization from the natural sugars of the spaghetti squash. Toss olive oil, salt and pepper, put in your bowl, add your tomatoes, add your chicken parmesan on top of it, you're good to go.
So whatever you decide to do this Valentine's Day, cook for your sweetheart. Just cook for her, him, sorry.
Him, her. Well, actually, it's more like...
Yeah, I agree.
It should be more of a guys cooking for their
Don't be afraid of it. You're not going to... She'll love it. She'll love the fact that you put the time into it. And that's about all the time we've got for Talking Food.
Oh, my God, already?
Yeah, we're out.
Well, thank you very much. Just a couple of tips. Very easy websites, foodandwine.com and Bon Appetit. I love to use those because these are recipes that have been tested by their kitchens, so you shouldn't have any problem. And remember, follow your recipe. Do not skip steps. Read the full recipe before you even start cooking, and have fun of this Valentine's Day. And shoot us an email or a comment.
That's right. Shoot us a picture if you want to.
If we're able to inspire you somehow, let us know.
Absolutely. And we will see you next week, same time, same channel, and with Talking Food. So thanks, Chef.
Thank
you,
Happy
Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day. Bye-bye.
See y'all later.